everybody, my name is Scryptar. Welcome back to OmniFactory and the lucky episode number 13. Yeehaw! Last time we fought the Ender Dragon, and this time we're going to take a break from all the fighting. We're going to take a look at power. Yes. So, if you remember, we have these 4 steam dynamos over here producing up to 2000 RF per tick. That is quite okay, but it is not really enough. So, down here, we have a system that powers that to be self-sufficient. So if we go down one more and fall through here, there you go. We have 20, I believe, magmatic dynamos being powered by lava, and they should produce up to 1000 RF per tick each. So with 20, that's 20,000 RF per tick. The issue with that is all of this. I mean, it's not really an issue. It's just when all these machines are running, they are running to make sure that we have lava, and that already drains up to 7,500 RF per tick. So out of the 20 we get, we lose more than a quarter, which isn't really that good. So I went through all the different options that we have, and if we look at this, if we look at generators, we have all of these generators: survival, heated redstone, ender generator. You need all of these to make the rainbow generator, which, if I remember correctly, produces 25 million RF per tick. It's just, you know, we were playing this lovely mod pack where every recipe is changed. Look at that. Block of omnium, energy output hatch, max. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Then you have these opinium cores that need all kinds of things, and look at that, we need elytras and such. Yeah, sure, right? So this is not an option. Getting into Draconic Evolution is not an option right now, unless we want to make, like, this thing, and even then we have to get Draconium ingots, cobalt, brass. Machine block is easy. Furnace generator, yeah, okay, sure. But even then, this thing produces, I don't know, like 400 IF per tick or something. It's not really that much. So what we've been using so far is these dynamos, right? And if we look at the options we have the steam dynamo, which is the easiest one to make, the first one we ever made, and it's not that bad. It's the ones we have upstairs, 500 IF per tick, right? You can convert these over into steam generating machines. And then you can convert another one over into steam using machines. I got this completely wrong. This is producing, this is using. That ups the power generation. So you need one steam dynamo to produce steam instead of RF, and then you need to pump that into another dynamo. Instead of fuel, it uses the steam and this little thingy here, this little augment, and then you can produce tons and tons of RF. It's about as good as what the fully upgraded magmatic dynamo does, but this one requires hot fluids. So lava, pyrotheum, something like that. And we tried that. That's what we have here if we don't fall down. So, to produce steam, all we need is what we already have, which is sugarcane. We just burn sugarcane like we do here. And this we can scale. This doesn't consume any power whatsoever. It needs a redstone stick. That's easy. Snad is doing the rest. The pistons are doing their job. They don't need any power. This thing doesn't need any power to collect all of that. So I think we're going to scale it up now. Tremendously. We're going to use a full chunk, one of these, to set up a power room. And we're going to do that in a little time lapse. Let's get going. Before we do that, this is the material list. Do a screenshot. There's 2 new things in here. One is the long range breaker, which is this one. Vibrant alloy plate, that's an emerald block, that's a diamond block. Auto breakers, 3 of them. Yeah, advanced block breaker, aluminium casing. Okay, we can do that. This looks a little bit weird, but it's just an MB machine hull. The rest we already have. And then this is just diamond dust and steel plates. So yeah, no problem there. And we're going to try and pump the steam into this basic quantum tank, which also doesn't look too bad. It's just processors, aluminium plate, another MB machine hull. And this, which is more processors, and an eye of ender and some energetic alloy wire. Nothing too complicated. I mean, this is slightly more complicated even. But again, we can do that, no problem whatsoever. So, let's get going. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, it's done. Our power generation module. Now this is, I think I mentioned that, one chunk. So we could double up and just put another one in the chunk next to it, the exact same setup. And also if I sink this whole setup over here into the floor, well, put it down by one basically, I can put another one of these modules on top and it would fit in here rather nicely. Also, it was quite peculiar to see that in the time-lapse, this block wouldn't render. I mean, it's a frame draw and it just showed the frame. It's a bit odd. There's not much I can do about that. Also, water. Yeah. I moved that over here and doubled up. So we now have 32 grid power, which is what we need for an angel ring to function if they didn't change that. So yeah, we'll probably double up on this one more time. I mean, we can still go down. I can put a couple on here. Yeah, anyway, so how does this all work? Well, let's put a conduit in our hand so we can see through the conduit facades. Oh, there you go. That was actually quite quick. It took up to 20 seconds the last time to switch the conduit facades to transparent. Bit weird. Anyway, I think we have too many of those. So we start over here. We do have a redstone conduit going through here underneath the snap blocks, connected to this timer, which is pulsing every 10 ticks. So there's 20 ticks in a second, so every half a second there's one pulse going out. And that's doing all of this. That over there is a graphical glitch. Believe me, they are growing. You see the particles when they break, they just don't break visually. Yeah, well, whatever. The auto breakers over there, the ranged breakers break all of these. This is the maximum range they extend to. And that works quite nicely. So they are collecting all the goodies. Now sometimes when this happens, when this gets backed up, like this drawer is full at the moment. So when this actually gets backed up and the sugarcane grows higher than where the block breaker is, now you can see it's on this block level, so the sugarcane grows up to here. When it breaks these down here that are in line of sight, then it will collect them. But when these break, the ones on top fall down as well, and since it didn't break these, they just broke on their own, they will just fall to the ground. So that's why we do have the item collectors, one down there and one down there. They have a radius of 6, I recently figured that out. So 6 blocks in every direction. That works quite nicely the way they are placed. So they pick up the rest of the sugarcane, so nothing goes to waste. We don't have any random items laying on the ground. It all gets pumped into here. And from here we extract on 2 conduits. There's blue here and there's brown down there. And as you can see, blue goes up there and brown goes down here. So that just makes sure we can extract full speed. They are all upgraded, as you can see. And one of these is going to fill 10 steam dynamos and the other one is going to fill the other 10. That makes sure we don't compete and some get left out. I do the same over here with the steam. I basically have a snake of conduits going around here, as you can see. If you have these all interconnected, the conduits get confused. It's just the way it is. Also, these up here are green because these two are switched off. What I didn't want to do that, who cares? I just set them to extract and not active. So if I ever want to switch them back on, I can click insert and click extract to untick that. If I have none of these ticked, then the conduit just disappears. Don't want that. See, now I have a conduit here. Ah, now it rendered. This is... I also made this, the flux bore, which is an electrical hammer, basically. Come on. Well, this takes ages. Don't have a wrench on me right now. Sorry. Have to endure it. There you go. I have it. It's here. It's still there. The hitbox is gone. You can see that there's nothing here. You can see that hitbox, but you can't see this. Yeah, it will take a while. It might just be we have too much Ender IO conduiting going on here. Whatever. We also have 2 water sources over here. They do the same thing. Whenever we actually get to see underneath. Hello. Do I have to turn around really quick to make that happen? I have an item conduit in my hand. See, that's what I meant. It takes a while. There you go. So we're taking out water from here and from here. One is on light blue, one is on dark blue. And that makes sure they fill 10 dynamos each and they don't compete in the conduits with each other and all that shenanigan. So, that means we can fill these 20. Well, realistically, this provides enough for 18 and a half. So, this one and that one is currently switched off. You can actually see there's no steam in here, in the coil. Or whatever replaces the coil when you switch them over to steam. Anyway, the setup. there is the boiler conversion and then just more output. So we are producing 900 millibuckets per tick of steam in each of these. Now these, fully upgraded, they take the turbine conversion, so they need to be supplied with steam instead of fossil fuels. They have the field limiters so that we can output as much energy as possible, even when this gets saturated, and then just the upgrade. So right now, we are consuming, come on, do something, 400 millibuckets per tick in each. So these can theoretically supply these 40 converted steam turbines. Now, we have this setup over here trying to make a lot of power, but all of this machinery is necessary to get power running, because all of this is necessary to get the lava for free. Over here, we just get sugarcane for free, just like that. The only thing that needs power is these range block breakers. They are consuming, in total, all of them, all 10 of them, are consuming 25 RF per tick. That stuff over there is consuming about 7,500 when everything is running. Well, yeah, even a little bit more maybe. Now that's just because currently everything is switched on, which means even those up there, these are all running, as you can see. Yup. Lovely. Nice. So what I've done here is basically put in all of those to give us free ores. So we have redstone, we have tin, I believe, iron, silver, slime balls, yeah, we need some of those, lead, where it's copper, and diamonds, yeah. So those are running right now, and they consume a ton of power, as you can see. But still, this is self-sufficient right now, so we just leave that running. That's not connected to anything else. This, as you can see, is already hooked up. So one conduit is going back underneath there, feeding those range breakers, and these are just outputting into the wall up there, feeding our electric blast furnace and the painting machine and whatever else is in this wall. It's not yet connected to the system upstairs, and I don't really like to have that connected, because realistically, this right here now feeds just upstairs, and just upstairs means our applied energistic system and our manual machines we have sitting there, right? And that works, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. This is so lovely to have that. Oh, you have no idea. If it wasn't for that. We have tons of power. Oh, you can actually shift right click that. I didn't know that. We have tons of power. We have 1 billion RF in storage. Look at that. And we can output a lot, 1 million RF per tick. Now these conduits over here can only output, I think it's 12,000, but it's only the output that's concerned here. One of these can take in everything we have stored in a tick, pretty much. But if you connect this to a machine and say output energy into this machine, then this output plate can only output 12,000 RF per tick. You can connect more of these outputs and have the machine completely surrounded on all 6 sides. Then it's 6 times 12,000. So we're not really limited by that. I still put 4 on here, just, you know, first of all, it looks better than just having 1. I didn't want this to be connected to the other conduit down there, so that's a separate line. I think, no, you can't set priorities actually, otherwise I would have set priority for that line, so this keeps running. I might even set up a little dynamo that's just getting sugarcane and feeds the energy right back into those breakers, so we have a closed circuit. I don't know, we'll see. Probably when I double this up and I have to lower this down into the floor by 1, then I set that up as well. That would mean that this is completely self-sufficient and can never run out of power. So even if these run out of resources, they will kick back into gear as soon as this fills back up. And it is currently filled up. 2048, that's a total of 32 stacks. That's a stack limit. I didn't upgrade that, didn't see the point. Don't need 300,000 sugarcane down here. We just need to see that this is a number greater than 0 and we know everything is running, right? Steam cannot be throttled, so these are running constantly, full tilt, consuming all of the sugarcane. Only these are currently stopped because the batteries are full, pretty much. And that's the output we have. That's okay, I can live with that. I don't even know what's it outputting into right now, because there shouldn't be anything running really. Oh yeah, our machine in the corner there, producing clay and all that stuff. Which I showed a bit earlier, that stuff. That's the only thing that's constantly running right now. Why is there a hole? I had that before when I came back from the end. This block was missing, the entire block. All cable facades, the cable, the panel. I almost made a new one and then I just logged out and back in and it was there. This block was definitely there a minute ago. So I guess that comes back at some point. Just don't worry about it. It is what it is. What are we going to do next? I'm thinking of trying to finish the beginning. We still have that, the pyrolyze oven. I'm not really flustered about the grappling hook and the glider. We have creative flight. This will never finish because we get it every hour? We don't need to reload anything, so that's good. Getting into the ME chest and the digital storage at last. So this is basically the disks where you can store your items. Well, we still have room in this storage system. I don't intend on putting anything on disk if I don't have to. Because on disk you can't really see what's in there. Here you just open a chest and say, oh wow, I have 4 of these saddles, really, I probably should put those into a drawer. And then you're good. But as soon as you start putting disks in there, you have no control to see in here what is on a disk and what is on an external storage like that. So you can't really see what item is currently filling up your disks. It could be sugarcane that's just, you know, piling up in my disk storage and I don't know about it because I made a priority error somewhere on the connections and then all of a sudden the disks are full. So actually not having disks in a disk-based system, I can live with that. Totally. Okay, so going back into this, double click. The only thing other than that is phosphorus and sulfur. We already have the sulfur, we just need the phosphorus dust. Yeah, well, we can do that somewhere in between. It's probably not too bad. There might be something opening up down here. I don't know yet. We'll see. Same as this could still lead into something. I'm not going to do that, so that leaves the pyrolyze oven. Huh. Okay. Main function of this oven is to increase the fuel values. We're not using wood or coal, we're using sugarcane, but yeah, okay. It gives us phenol, and it also gives us other stuff like creosote oil, which I remember from other mod packs comes in handy to have because at some stage you will need it to make all kinds of stuff, biofuel and whatever. So we need more copper nickel blocks, we need LV components. I'm past LV really, I want to make MV because we can and we have the power now. That machine downstairs is producing 35,000 RF per tick with expending 25 RF per tick, so we should be good there. It's even ULV machine casings. Yeah, well, if you look at that thing, if you go in here and say, there it is, pyrolyze oven. This is ULV machine casing, HV input bus. An HV energy and whatnot. But then you have the LV blocks and you have the ULV casings. It looks cool. I just don't think you should be able to put it together like that. It doesn't make any sense. And we don't have access to HV right now, so that's one more thing. I had a look here real quick at the Canthal coil block, which is the next upgrade from the copper nickel. Needs the Canthal wire, which comes from that, which comes from that, which comes from that, and vacuum freezer. And I didn't even look any further than that. So vacuum freezer is on the list to do, but as you can see, this is a frostproof machine casing. We need weird circuits that we don't have yet, and this is an HV pump. So we're already talking about HV here. We just begun MV. Yeah, it will be a second or two. So I have queued up here. First of all, the items it wants to complete the quest, the LV stuff and the ULV stuff. Which, yeah, come on, really, iron plate. And we've made these before, and we probably even have one or two somewhere in a chest. So I'm gonna have a look at that. But then we are gonna make the machine out of the MV components over here, and hope that it works with the copper nickel blocks. It doesn't say it's limited to MV or LV or something like that. So we'll see. Let me get some of the blocks together. I mean, you've seen me crafting these, and these are not that different. It's just, yeah. They need an MV machine hull instead of an LV. Otherwise, it's still the glass block on top and at the bottom and the chest and cable. What cable is that? Oh, copper cable. Yeah, we can do that. Sure. Alright, be right back. Okay then, as you can see, I made all these components except for the oven itself. And I immediately chucked them out the window because I don't need them, except for the copper nickel coil blocks, which I still have. And then I made the MV variants of these. So let's have a look in the inventory. Here they are, all of them, except for the oven, which we're going to do in a second. I also moved power over here, so I extended our energetic redstone alloy wire thing conduit stuff over here into an MVCF with energetic alloy cable. The lossless ones, and no, what was that? The legginess. Wow. And since it's a 4x3, we're going to put it over here in the corner. So now let's make the last component, and it's so nice to have this up and running. It's just I can tell you stuff, but I don't. Pyrolyze oven. So we do need the ULV machine hull, which I have. We need some standard processors, which we have. Some LV stuff, which we have. We just need the copper nickel wire, for which we need these ones. More of these ones, please. Thank you. And then we need to do that. Now we have 2, and that should be enough to go in here and click that. And that looks good. Pyrolyze oven and get. Thank you. So now we need to piece that thing together. Okay, so we start off with 3 energy input hatches. Same as before, I just like to have 3 of them. And they are facing the wrong way, so we need to fix that. Do I have a wrench on me? Can I actually do that with this wrench? Did we test that? I can't remember. Oh, that's cool. That's totally unexpected. Nope. Can't do it with that. Let's get another wrench. Should probably take that out of my hand. It's dangerous, that thing. Wrench! You. Hello, Enderman. I saw you popping up there. So nice to have that inhibitor torch thing. Oh, that actually did work. It just took ages. Yeah, with this wrench you set the output. If I click this part, it will set the output on that side. If I click the center, it will set the output here. Top, bottom, right. I don't know about the corners. Don't ask me. That's just how that works. So if I click that here, the regular wrench, that should turn around. Do I actually need to move over here or something? Or just wait a minute? There you go. I want those on the other side though. Okay, let's use our lovely tool. This can be switched by holding V or pressing V, area 3x3, same as the hammer. Then you can have single block, and you can have tunnel mode, which is a 1x2. Also, if you have this like that, and you hold shift, you get single mode. This is really cool. I like that a lot. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use tunnel mode. There you go. That's perfect. Give me all the blocks. I need them. So I should be able to hit that, and that, and that, and now they should be turned around at some point. I'm going to be very confident about that and cover this all up, not you. Wrong block. Shift, break, gimme, and there. And they have turned around. Lovely. Let's take those. 3, 4, 5, 6. Then on the next layer, the middle is free, and this is the front then. So how are we going to do that? I have this one accessible right here, this column here, and I have the whole front side accessible right now. I don't really want anything in that corner, just in case you want to attach something there. So we do have input, output, and fluid input, output. Let's put you over here, and let's put you over here. So how about we go fluid input output over here? Who goes where? Does it matter? I'll put you here, and you on top. And that should work. For the rest, we just use machine casings. That should be fine. That should be the backside all done, which means we can go and do this, and then cover it up. That should be everything. We're not going to put anything in this corner, we said, so that can be just that, which means also not going to have anything there, and probably not there. And then we have the input and the output bus. I like the output down here, so we can have a wire coming out of the floor, going back into the system. And that means we would have to have the input up here. Doesn't really matter. And that leaves this. A minute structure. Lovely. Do these have to face forward though? That is one of the things I don't know. Because that would render this completely useless. Invalid structure. Well, it said for the electric furnace that we can rearrange these in whichever way we want. It doesn't really say that we can do it here, so let me try arranging that the way it wants to be arranged. Don't like the idea. That would also mean only one energy input hatch. And I don't think it has to be this combination, right? HV, ULV, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I still have these casings. Obviously, I still have them upstairs in a crate somewhere. So... this is what I did. It's also what I did. Oh, it looks wonky. Let me fiddle around with this. I wouldn't have believed it even if you had told me. First of all, this thing says HV. No, first of all, it's working, as you can see. Then it says HV, also we're using MV components. And yes, it needed to be the ULV machine casing. I tried rearranging the inputs and outputs and stuff, that didn't work. It is actually the ULV machine casing that makes this thing run. Well, now we have some MV machine casing lying around, in case you want to upgrade that one, I guess. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure we need it for something, right? So what else have I done? This thing, if you look at ye recipes, press U and go here. We need steam. 4 buckets of steam per operation, I guess. This operation is 30 seconds. So that's how many millibuckets per tick? I don't even know. Doesn't matter. So what we technically need is something that produces steam. Well, thank God we have this whole setup downstairs. So I took another one of the steam boilers, put it over there. Yeah, I know it's a dynamo, but you know, it's a boiler. It has a boiler upgrade in there. So this makes steam, the water coming from that water source up there, and then we're taking the sugarcane from over there, as usual. We're putting that all into a drum. A drum is a really cool thing, because it's cheap. There. That's all there is to it. Some wrought iron plate, some weighted pressure plate, I mean, yeah, those, sure, okay, yeah. And a cauldron, yeah, okay. It's not that cheap. But it's only iron. Honestly, it's only iron. And it holds, if I right click, 256 buckets. And we only need 4 every 30 seconds for the things that this thing is going to do. Alright, I could have put that drum right there and then probably put a pump on that one to pump directly out, but I just wanted to use the conduits because conduits have the nice thing that you can tick this button. You can just switch them on or off, you can speed upgrade them and you can filter them and all that stuff. Same over here, this is the input box going into the input bus, that's the output bus going into that crate. And then whatever fluid or gas we might get, I mean in this mod pack it's all fluids anyway, comes from the output hatch into there. And I remove the connections in between, just, you know, you just take your wrench and right click them, like, And now it's not rendering correctly, but as you can see the hitbox is there, if I click that, it's gone. That's how you do that. And now they're totally non-connected. Nice, so what can we do now? Well, we can run this and see if it works, that would be something. So, what are the recipes? What recipes do we have? Hold shift or dictionary names log wood. So any kind of wood or anything that listens to log wood as an or dictionary name, that should work. It makes coal, or well, charcoal, and different fluids. Creosote oil, wood vinegar, lovely. Time for a salad. Wood gas, wood tar, charcoal byproducts, like potash, I don't know. Or you can just put coal in there. It uses a crap ton of EU, look at that. And you get phenol, which is probably what we want. Do we have charcoal actually? I never really made the space for charcoal because that means burning wood into something. I'd rather burn the wood itself because it doesn't really matter that much. We do have some coal, so let's take a stack of coal. Steam is already going in, so technically we just need to do this. You should be going in there. You should be running. Not doing anything. What are we missing, you might ask? Well, you need to look at the recipe closely. You also need a programmed circuit, which is any circuit makes a programmed circuit. Okay, we can do that. Okay. You click that. Do it. Cheapest one. Thank you. Now I think these, shift right click, yes, integrated circuit configuration. Now you need to know the number. This is bollocks. Configuration 0, configuration 1. We're doing this right here to get phenol, so that's configuration 1. Right click, 1, program circuit, got. Do I put you in here? Looks like it because it just did something. Oh wow, that's running fast. Oh, I like that. And there you go, we have a phenol. 2 buckets. And coal coke. Oh, we're getting a lot of coal coke. Are you just that fast? That was a stack of coal. Ah, that's probably because we're using MV components, and technically it says HV as you look at this. 30 seconds? 30 seconds? For 16 of them, so a stack would be 2 minutes? That wasn't 2 minutes. Not even close. Oh, nice. 4 buckets. That's not that much. Is there anything left over in here? No. All good. You have all the fluid in the world. You're full. This thing seems to have trouble getting sugarcane. And, well, it comes from down there. And on this line is only anything that connects over here. So that's you. Well, you're not getting anything, really. We're not supplying anything over there. These things might be... Yeah, I think one of them is getting something. Can't remember which one. Nah. Technically, they're all just outputting into storage. That's all they do. But, you know, there's a lot of connections here. Every of these machines is outputting something into the network, so it might just be that. Trying to cycle between input, output, and which has what priority, and stuff coming in way too fast, and... Yeah, this seems to have trouble keeping up. It's a bit weird. Don't mind though, it's okay. That's why we have this buffer zone over here. Whenever that fills up, it's constantly producing steam, so that steam gets pushed in there if it wants to or not. When this is full, it's full. Right? If this needs more, it can draw 256 bucket out of here. We need 4 every 30 seconds, but with MV it's probably every 5 seconds or so. This thing is producing 500 millibuckets per tick. So that's 1 bucket per second. If we need 4 every 5 seconds, even if the switch is off in between somewhere, that buffer should keep up. We're never gonna put that much in here, I guess. So yeah, alright. Technically I'll only be using this to do phenol. Or creosote ore maybe. Which means you also need some kind of a tree farm set up. We do have a ton of logs, but this is all manually harvested, remember. Yeah, well, we'll see. Whenever we get to the point where we actually need that, we're going to set something up. We don't have bonsais in here, right? No. That would have been me overlooking the thing of the century, pretty much. Anyway, I guess we've done good for today. We have the Pyrolyze Oven MV running. I'm probably going to exchange all of this to MV because we do have the power now to run all of that. And probably exchange all the machines upstairs into MV. Because eventually we're going to run into issues. I mean, we had that before, right? This thing not being MV, or one of these not being MV, so we couldn't do one of the recipes. Yeah, I'm going to make these all MV. I'm going to rip out the cabling, going to do it again. This chest is going to have to move, and then the cabling we have under the floor here probably, because we can attach power and such to this directly now, coming from downstairs. Or we can just have one of these go into the applied energistic system directly, into that one, the energy acceptor, and the rest run off of the main system. I just want to have... I want to be able to have this running. I want to make sure that this is running and it's not going to switch off because we overload the system with something. So I wouldn't mind having that on its own circuit somehow. I mean, now that we have cabling going all the way downstairs, I might just move the energy acceptor and the battery. I have cable running through here. It's coming down here, as you can see. That's a very short way from that battery to here. I could just sink that all into the floor or build it into the column here and then be done with it. Or I can hook that up to what I said. Ooh, wow. What I said earlier. When I make this, just this part, self-sufficient, I hook that up to that as well. So we're always making sure we're producing the basic materials to produce energy, but we're also producing a little bit of energy to keep this running, and we're producing a little bit of energy to always be able to access our applied energistic system. And then the rest, well, if it fails, then it fails catastrophically, but we can still work on it because we still have access to all our stuff. I think that's a good idea. Well, with this lovely view from down here, I'm gonna say, have a good one. See you next time. Bye bye.